Whatever you call it. We'll start with breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, supper, fourth meal, whatever. If you improve your skills, you can improve the results of those meals. And
That's
Chef
right.
Amy is here, owner and executive chef of Cut Above Catering. You've got a class tomorrow.
I do. I have a knife skills, kind of getting back to the basics. I mean, this is where it all starts.
But that's a building block.
Yes,
that is
yes,
like
yes.
a trunk of the tree of culinary. If you have that,
Yes.
everything's going to be better.
Everything's going to be better, and it's going to be a lot faster, more efficient, and then you're going to be able to get more familiar with it and be safer. That's the number one
and be
thing,
comfortable.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
So we're going to start with just kind of like, what is the knife? And like, you know, there's different kinds of knives. I like working with an 8-inch chef knife.
You
like,
do.
That's my favorite.
I'll bet you do most of your cutting.
I
with it
do
too, right?
90% of it.
When I
with
read
it.
Anthony Bourdain's book,
Yes.
Kitchen Confidential, he
Yes.
said those butcher block things
Yes.
with 15
all
knives.
this little fancy stuff.
He's like,
if you
whatever.
have good knife skills, you can just
If
use.
you got,
Yeah.
80% of the time, he says you'll use one knife. So
100%, but you have to keep that knife sharp.
Okay.
And that's what's key. So I'm going to show you a quick little demo on sharpness because the base of the knife gets really sharp. The tip gets really moved around when you're working.
Dings
and,
on-
you know,
dings on stuff.
Dings,
Yeah.
dings, dings. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you're holding the knife very strong.
Okay.
Now I'm left-handed, but that doesn't, yay. I know, a lot of people are like, oh, left-handed.
have you on
It
the
just
team.
means we're more creative.
Very
But
good.
anyway, so we're going to hold it very firm because we don't want it moving around when we're working with sharp knives. And then we're just going to lay it down on the blade. Now, I've seen some people, you know, they try to get super fancy and
well,
be
because
all
they'll
like,
watch a cooking show and they'll see some
they're like,
world-class chef go.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean,
like, don't
and
worry
that's
about
great,
speed.
but that's years. But you know, the simple everyday sharpening, you're just going to want to lay it down and sharpen it into the blade there. Also, what you want to do is with a cutting board, I've got like these little mats that I'd like to use.
Okay.
So it grips the cutting board
Sure.
because you obviously don't want the cutting board running
Slipping
around as well. And then, you know, you also don't want to do this. Like when it's time to throw out your knives, it's time to throw out your knives. So I actually found this in the kitchen, in our kitchen. So I will be making sure that our HR person gets rid of this. But
That might have some purpose in the
I
garage.
feel like a guy did this. I'm just saying,
that's-
like
yeah,
this
okay.
looks like a duct tape version
that's
of.
some,
yeah. So I mean, but,
Some gender typing is deserved, and that's one of them.
this is when there's duct tape involved, I automatically tend to go towards the male. But so yes, when it's time to get rid of your knives, it's time to get rid of your knives.
Okay.
Do you have to have the most expensive knife
That's
in
supposed to be
town?
next. So no.
No.
But it's. Are there I mean, there used to be brands, and a lot of them had like like German
I would
brands.
say
But now
what
even
works
those brands
for
have like
you-
sort of sub.
What works for you? You
Okay.
can get these at Sam's Club or
Okay.
another wholesale company. These are like $8 a knife.
Okay.
So as long as you keep these sharp, it's great.
Okay.
All right. So next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to chop an onion.
Please.
Now this is like my number one requested when we do cooking classes. Like they're always like, how can we do this? How can we do it where we're not crying? How can we do all this stuff? So.
And mine never end up uniform. I always just tell.
Yes,
it's
and when you're
rustic.
cooking,
It's a
you want
rustic
it
cut.
uniform. You know you've had that piece of onion where like it was like so much bigger than the other pieces
pieces,
of
yeah.
onion, and you're like, and you know you don't want to be like, oh my God, that was onion. You want to be like, oh, I feel like there's onion in this. Okay, all right. So what we want to do is we want to cut down to the root. So you're gonna like have the root. This is gonna be your friend because it's gonna hold it all together.
Ah.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Already big mistake.
Yeah, already making
First thing I do is cut that off.
Yeah, no, you don't want to cut that off.
All
You
right.
want to hold that. So then we're going to just kind of unpeel this, get all the outer layers off. Now, in my other shows that I've done here, I talked about tearless onions. There is such a thing, and it does work. We've used it before. All right, anyway.
I know they make the goggles.
Yeah, so I have the goggles. I was going to bring those, but, you know, I already made you do other things, so I wasn't going to torture you too much today.
All right, so I just
do
go
you
to.
have them?
What?
Do you have? Oh, I thought you were bringing out
No.
goggles.
I used my kids' swim goggles once though when I was doing a whole
I
bunch
mean,
of
whatever
onions.
works. Sunglasses work.
Okay.
Having contacts really, really helps.
Oh, all right.
Puts a barrier. Okay. So we've got the onion, I've got my layers here. And what I'm gonna do is, since the base of the knife is the sharpest, I'm gonna put some pressure down and we're just kind of gonna go almost all the way. But you see how that root holds it all together?
Yes.
And you're just sliding it all through.
I wish I had one of those indie-style spatulas to give you, because that's a spatula-worthy tip right there.
I'm right here. Okay, so then we've got it all right here, and then you're just gonna go up and down. When you get to about halfway, you're gonna wanna hold it together. Now, this is the important part. This is when you don't want to cut your fingers off.
Yes.
Also,
Yes, that
ladies,
is the important part.
if you have nails, you want to make sure that you're cupping those nails, so almost like doing a bear claw. You don't want nails in your
no,
food,
yeah.
ladies. Okay.
Or to jack up your
I mean,
mouth.
that could be extra protein, but
know.
we're not trying to do that today. All right. So what you want to
It's a
do, bear
mystery
claw.
ingredient.
So then the tip of the knife really is not going to even get off the cutting board.
Okay, just go.
And look at this, you guys.
They're uniform, like they're
They are
supposed
uniform
to be.
dice. See, and look how easy that is. So that is, you know,
And
chopping
again,
an onion.
that's gonna flavor whatever recipe is calling for that onion
Absolutely.
better,
They're all
because
uniform. You're not going to be
it's
like, oh my gosh, there's onion.
evenly distributed throughout whatever you're making.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, you know, everyone's like, Chef, what do you do with this? I said, put it in your stock, just
Yeah.
hang it out there. But this is going to be easy way. All you got to do is start practicing at home. You know, caramelize a whole bunch of onions. And
Yeah,
just practice.
and have them ready.
Yep.
And there's still room at your thing.
Yes, I
tomorrow?
have only a few more spots left in our class.
You don't have to be there if you don't want to. You can just do it.
But we're going to be
online.
learning how to glaze chicken. It's just the fundamentals. It's not just chopping. So you guys really need to come, for sure.
We'll have the link on IndieStyle.tv. Amber, the root.
I've been
My
cutting
first cut has been a
onions.
mistake.
I've been cutting
my
them
whole
all
life.
wrong.